All right, we got the dumbest fight in The Boys. And by
This
the
is
way,
probably
this
my
fight
second
was
favorite
super
season of the
fucking
show.
dumb. They
Thought it
literally
was pretty
sold the
good,
bag
but
in
the
this
final
fight.
fight, the
Butcher
kid,
literally sold the fucking bag in this fight. If this fight would have went on the right way, this nigga Homelander would have been the fuck out of here. But this nigga Butcher just wanted to sell for some
that
reason.
we waited the whole season for was pretty terrible. And so I just wanted to
It
go
was
over
bad.
it,
It
what
was
led up
bad.
to
They
it, and go
literally
over why I
betrayed
thought it was
Soldier
so
Boy,
dumb.
bro.
So yeah, season 3 in short is pretty much just
I
the
know he
boys
racist
finding a
and all,
weapon that
but
can kill
I like
Homelander.
him
That
still.
motherfucker has been on a tear since season 1, and the boys are just dialed in on ending him in this season. So they get a lead from Queen Maeve on a weapon that could do the trick, because this weapon apparently took out Soldier Boy. But when they get to the Russian facility, turns out there is no weapon that killed Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy was actually taken and experimented on. But Soldier Boy is on par with Homelander in terms of his strength and
It's crazy how
durability,
he's butt
and has the
naked
ability
right
to
there.
emit massive blasts of radiation that vaporizes the Compound V out of the soups, making them regular humans again. So Soldier Boy is pretty much just this cheat code, and as far as we know, he's the only thing that can take Homelander out. So Butcher strikes a deal with him. He'll help Soldier Boy take out all of the remaining members of Payback, and in return, Soldier Boy will help Butcher take out Homelander. So the entire season is the boys trying to find a weapon to kill Homelander, finding out that that weapon is Soldier Boy, and getting Soldier Boy to kill Homelander. That's pretty much the
And
whole
when
season.
Soldier Boy, when they got Soldier Boy in a position to kill Homelander, they all just sell the bag.
Wrapped up. So as you can tell, there's a lot riding on this fight. Now, let's jump to the final fight that we waited so patiently for. Soldier Boy, Queen Maeve, and Butcher roll up on Homelander at Vought Tower. Homelander tries to convince Soldier Boy to join him because he's technically the son of Soldier Boy, and it was actually looking like Soldier Boy might switch up for a second. Homelander even brought out Ryan and pulled the "we're a family" card, but Soldier Boy stayed solid as a rock. He put his hand on
He was a
Homelander's
solid
shoulder and
dude.
called him a whiny, weak, sniveling little pussy, and he also called him a disappointment.
You're a f***ing disappointment.
He then grabs Homelander's face, and Butcher and Maeve come in to help him, and this is it. Soldier Boy starts to charge up the blast. That sounds kind of bad. He's charging up the blast, and right before he can do it, Ryan lasers him, which sends him flying. But Soldier Boy gets
I heard that right there is an Easter egg to how Soldier Boy's gonna die next season. They said Ryan's gonna laser his stomach open.
up and absolutely whacks Ryan into a shelf. He then starts charging up the blast again, but before he can pack Homelander up, Butcher lasers
Look at this
him this
clown,
time. And while
man.
Butcher lasers him, Homelander turns around and lasers him too.
Fucking British
serious?
clown, man.
3 seasons. We waited 3 seasons for this. Butcher was absolutely dead set on packing up Homelander once and for all, and he folds because of his wife's kid. Of course. Soldier Boy gets up and is like, "Yo, what the f are you doing?"
Fuck are you doing,
Butcher then
dude?
tells him
Fucked
to
your
not hurt
wife?
the kid
Well,
because that's his
actually, he
wife's
didn't
son.
fuck her. He
Wait,
raped her,
Homelander
actually.
fucked your wife,
Raped
and you
her.
want to save the brat?
Gotta be honest, I'm a Soldier Boy on that one. And by the looks of how he turned out in season 4, it probably would have been for the better. I'm just saying. We cut to Homelander, and Queen Maeve comes in and starts throwing hands, so they start to fight. And while that happens, Soldier Boy and Butcher start scrapping. Butcher lands a couple licks right here, and Soldier Boy comes back with a
The
what is
clean
it,
neck
a
chop.
He hits him with a neck chop. Butcher gets up,
Clean
lands a
ass
few
fucking
juicers,
neck chop.
grabs Soldier Boy and lasers him in the face at close range, which, by the way, that only leaves like a small cut on his face. Then Soldier Boy knocks him down with a punching leg sweep. Don't know if you noticed this, but the fight choreography for the show isn't exactly top tier. Makes me think back to the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy, where Batman would fight like 6 guys and he looked like he was fighting in slow motion because he was just so slow and sloppy. Like, look at this. He just leaned over and double punched Joker in the chest. And they want us to believe this guy mastered like every martial art that there is. Yeah, for sure. It looks like Batman hasn't trained a day in his life. The same can't be said for Ben Affleck's Batman. Anyways, Soldier Boy picks Butcher up and slams him into a table. He grabs his shield, and right before he bashes Butcher's face in, Starlight comes in and stops him. Oh, and MM is here too. Mainly for moral support because that gun's not gonna do shit. I don't know
Literally,
why
this
they
nigga
bother
always shooting
soups
shotguns and shit at superheroes. Like, that will do anything, my nigga. Like, what are you trying to achieve?
with guns. It's probably about as effective as
You
throwing
would
a
have
marshmallow
been
at
better
the
off staying home.
While all this
Like, what are you
happens,
doing,
Huey gets on the
my
intercom
dude?
and tells the people in the tower to evacuate, and Frenchie cooks up another gas to knock Soldier Boy out.
Frenchie
We
the
go
goat.
back to the fight. Maeve and Homelander are still going at it, and Soldier Boy absolutely wrecks Starlight. Butcher's able to laser Soldier Boy's shield
Fuck
and break
this shield,
it, but
bitch!
all that really does is just piss Soldier Boy off even more. He grabs Butcher and lands a good 3 or 4 licks to his lips before
And
throwing him
throws
away
him.
and into the wall. Kamiko comes in and sees what's
Grabs
happening.
her by the
she runs
neck.
at Soulja Boy and gets grabbed by
Like
the throat.
oh, you can't
She
see.
then gets thrown and launched into next week. Not to gargle it, but Soulja Boy is
Can't see
low-key
it.
holding it down solo dolo against 3 soups. Huey taps
Because
into
he's
the camera
OP.
and sees the team getting absolutely murked. Starlight is
In this
finally back up, though,
anticlimactic
so Huey
scene,
turns the
like
power
all
the
this
way up to get
all,
Starlight juiced
all this fucking hype for that little ass blast, bro.
up, and she's maxed
slow
out.
motion
She's
music.
reaching fucking full power.
Look, look,
She
look, look.
floats up off of the ground, and some dramatic heroic
Dramatic
music
as
starts
shit.
playing in
It's
the
slow
background,
motion
it
and,
really makes
like,
you
bro,
think,
look at this.
Holy smokes!
I thought he was finna
Starlight
get
is about to
launched
tackle
across the
one of
room.
the strongest soups in the show. This is epic. Soulja Boy starts running at her full speed and jumps.
Like, this
but
was
right before
trash.
he reaches her, Starlight blasts him at full power, and it does absolutely nothing. All it does is knock him down.
I mean,
And he gets right back
did
up.
it knock me down? Yeah. I wasn't knocked out.
Let's remember, folks, this whole season was about getting a weapon to kill Homelander because, if you don't remember, Homelander is an absolutely sadistic, murdering, crazy baby who needs to be stopped at all cost. And yet, everyone has turned their attention to Soulja Boy, even though he's really not done anything. He's not going around murking people for no reason like Homelander does. He did vaporize a couple of buildings, which resulted in multiple people dying, but unlike Homelander, who does vile shit on purpose, Soulja Boy just kind of blows up on accident because of his PTSD. He even admitted to Huey that he didn't mean to hurt those people.
I didn't mean to hurt those people. I'm not a bad guy.
To be honest, from what it seems, if he's not on a mission, he'd probably just be at home chilling. So why everyone just decided to go after him over Homelander is wild. Also, they didn't need Soulja Boy's radiation blast to stop Homelander. Queen Maeve was working him, and earlier in the season, Butcher, Soulja Boy, and Huey were able to beat him up. So instead of trying to use the blast, why don't they all just work together, gang up, and jump him? They could very easily beat him. Anyways, Starlight, Kamiko, and MM are able to
'Cause he
somehow
would have been
restrain
able to
Soulja
fly
Boy,
out-
even though
fly out of
MM is
there, that's
nothing to
why.
him, and Starlight and Kamiko are
Flying out of
significantly
there.
weaker. His legs are also free, so he could probably just super jump out of the building or headbutt MM.
Bro,
which would
literally, it's
obliterate him.
Soulja Boy, bro. Like even when you're getting what is that shit called, man? I don't know what it's called, but the neurotoxin thing, he should still be able to throw him off of him because he's still
And
Soulja
then he
Boy.
could fight off the two girls.
Like, that
but
don't even
whatever.
make sense.
Maybe he wanted to be grabbed and restrained by Starlight and Kamiko. I'm gonna be honest. I don't blame him. Soulja Boy finally realizes he has an overpowered radiation blast, so he starts to charge that bad boy up. Butcher runs over to cover Ryan. Maeve sticks a rod in Homelander's ear, which messes him
How?
up momentarily.
Bro,
She gets up
how
and
does that even make sense?
notices the pickle they're in. And then there's a long, dramatic shot of her thinking what to do, and it has never taken this long for Soulja Boy to let it rip. It usually took like 5 or 6 seconds, while this is taking like a minute, but I'm kind of
Hey, bro, full charge, bro.
Right before Soulja Boy can finish the job, Queen Maeve tackles him through the glass and presumably gets packed up. Spoiler, she somehow survived. Back in the tower, everyone is happy, hugs all around. They did it. They stopped Soulja Boy. But all that happiness disappears when they realize Homelander, the villain who's significantly worse than Soulja Boy and who they've been trying to stop since season 1, is still alive. But it. Butcher still has his powers from Temp V, Starlight's good to go, and Kamiko's there too. They can still finish the job
No, they
right
can't.
there, but nope.
No, they
Ryan
can't.
looks at Homelander and he's like, "Dad, I want to leave." And so Homelander takes his hand and they leave. That's it. Everything.
Nah,
from
they
the
would've
first
got
episode
bodied.
of The Boys tells us that soups are bad, and the worst of them is easily Homelander. This was their chance. This whole season was about finding a way to send Homelander to the Shadow Realm, and when they finally get the chance to do so, they get cold feet. Now, I'm not saying Soulja Boy is an angel. He's no hero. The show
Yeah, he's
tells us he's
racist.
a bad guy multiple times by bringing up what he's done and what he did to MM's family, but Homelander's worse by like a mile. And while watching season 4, I always think back to this fight because all the f***ed up stuff that happened in season 4
Could have
and the
been
worst stuff
prevented.
that's going to happen in season 5 could have easily been avoided if they stuck to the original plan. Or maybe I'm just violently meat-riding Soulja Boy. I don't know. Possibly.
Both.
Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below.
Hey,
and also let me know what
Train.
videos you guys want to see next. I think I'm going to do a video
All right,
on
I'm
some
done.